Cartoons with John-Marc.
Hey, do you have a pencil and some paper? Let's begin today's lesson.
All right, now this lesson is going to be one that I sketched out really quick on a previous drawing. And it's like a little island that I have a couple little huts in. These were like a thumbnail. So this is an upgraded thumbnail version, what I'm doing. What I'm planning on doing is to take this and bring it back onto the computer and do a digital cleaning. It's 11 by 17 right now, and I'm just going to make like a little dock and two little huts. So this was a thumbnail that I did, maybe several months ago, and I kind of thought it was kind of fun. So I'm redoing it just to give some more detail to share with you and some shading. The other one was really just really quick. Now, I'm going to also do, prior to the coloring, I will actually do like a quick comp in coloring using this final sketch to color out, just to give you some conceptualization on the tones and the colors that I kind of have in my head. I don't have it all right yet. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but that's just going to give me like a little rough outline. Then the cleanup version, I'm going to dive right in that and use that color version. Now that color version probably won't even take me more than 5 minutes to do on the computer. That's just like a quick little representation on the tone, maybe some of the color swatches and shadowing and mixing. I can there also take those colors and reuse them in that one, or just use it as a reference on the side. But I just wanted to share that with you, those little quick little notes. So what you're seeing here, I'm going to be using a combination of my graphite pencil and my mechanical pencil, possibly. I'm not too sure. But for right now, I'm working off of a 2B and an H and maybe a 5B for a little bit more shadowing later on. And this is just a real quick sketch. Again, nothing's perfect. That the perspective on those little houses I can see are totally off. But again, this is just to get the balance and the concept out really quick. And I don't want to spend too much time on it, because if I don't like it, I'll put it to the side and I'll redo it. So I won't know if I'm going to like this one until it's totally done. And where I am now, being an artist and creativity, sometimes I might stop and say, you know what? I don't like what I have right now, but I still suggest from time to time, don't throw your artwork away. I'll share the reasoning why you don't want to do that. And if you stop, still keep it, because sometimes you might get inspired for another drawing from that whatsoever that you're doing. So you never know. So just hold on to your sketches, I recommend. And here there's like little trees in the background, little bamboo I'm going to be putting here and there. I'm thinking another palm tree here. So what I was going to share with you is why you don't throw out your artwork. It shows you your encouragement, how you are becoming better as an artist and how you're growing. Yeah, I'm just looking here 1 second. Should I go here? Yeah, I'm gonna just go over here. So I'm going to go a little harder now. I'm going to take it to the next step. So once again, so now when you keep that artwork, you can judge how you've been progressing in the days and months. It's almost like a track runner. If they don't time themselves, they will never know if they are getting faster or slower. So in this case, saving your artwork is an encouragement for yourself, and see if you are doing anything better. But also, you could use it as for resources for other drawings next time, well, you might be working on. It's not hard to keep it. I know a lot of artists want to just like throw it away. All right, so here we go. Let's get this a little bit more in detail, going a bit heavier now on everything. Looking good.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey, do you have an artist in your family that likes to draw and sketch? We got these 3 cartoon books that your kids will definitely enjoy. So what are you waiting for? Visit our website, that's jmg-studio.biz.
And now, back to our show.
All right, so what I'm doing here is just giving some shading and shadowing throughout this layout from time to time. So again, when I work on these drawings and sketches, as you can see, as an artist, I had something in my mind when I did the first one. So to my far left on my eye on the desk that I actually have that quick sketch. And that quick sketch is something I might just eyeball from every now and then. So, oh yeah, that's might work or whatever. Or you could just use it to try to totally copy. But for right now, this is just a representation of that little sketch. You know what? Maybe I should show that at the end of that video. So I'm going to make a mental note to show you what I did from that drawing really quick. So here, I like the graphite pencils when I plan to do some gradation and shading, because it's how I hold my pencil. Not right now. This is like the straightforward, hard little lines on here. Again, this perspective and the angle is not 100% what I like. This is just a quick. But you know what? Still, again, holding on to it. A little dock here. So what can you have on the dock? Okay, you can have sea life if you wanted to, some like little lobsters, birds sitting there flying around, fish jumping around, the waves coming in and out. However, you can have the wood with the grain, and the little pier here. All right. Yeah, I'm playing in my head right now. I might even push this pier back to be smaller, or make it even more perspective. So kind of come towards you a little bit more, because it's too flat, in my opinion. I see it right now, but we can decide that later when I do a cleanup version of it. And what do I do with the cleanup version? I'll take it, I'll scan it in, and I'll bring it to Photoshop, and I'll put in one layer, or I'll ghost it very lightly, and then I'll have another one, and I'll take my little graphite pencil for my computer, and then I'll just start sketching away on top of that, very clean. This one here, oh, this lesson's probably gonna be like a half hour in planning. I don't want to go too quick, but when I clean it up, it could take me an hour or two more, should I say, for a cleanup version. And that cleanup version, I wouldn't really worry about any of the shading or the shadowing or the tones. This is just to give me in my head right now. So when I add that color to it, that quick layout, just so at least I have planned for future steps. There's many ways of drawing, and this is how I liked it. It's not a right or wrong, and you might have a different way of drawing and coloring, and more power to you. Whatever you feel comfortable. I'm not saying this is the right way. This is the way that I do it, and I enjoy it. All right, so with our rocks here, I'm going to just quickly give some patterns, some shading. All right. Yes, little background here, a little different rock, very similar. What are the rock colors? Are they going to be like slate blue? Or are they going to be kind of like a sand color, like brown, or even like a red tone to it, tan? Not sure. I might be make it to like a slate blue, like a light one, I'm thinking. And a teal water, I'm thinking. And the huts could be like green and on the top of the roof, and like yellowish on the sides, maybe. And the island could be very lush in color. Maybe even add some purple background just to play up with it. So it doesn't have to always be green like a jungle, but still, like this is all wet sand. Even the wet sand could have a different tone. The sand could even be different. There's peach color sands. There's like very white color sand beaches. So you can do some research to figure out which one you might want to play up with. All right, just going to put some more shadowing underneath here just quickly. Where's the lighting for the sun? It's more coming from the back side, I think. But again, I'm not worried about that when the time comes to coloring. I'll just do a better job. But this is just to flush out my ideas, like little shrubs and bushes. I might do another quick drawing on smaller paper, and that smaller paper I might make different types of organic plants that I might add in there, different ferns, different leaves, different short big trees, like the shrub. So these are just placements. So then from there I can take those drawings and add them into the finished one. That's another mental note I'll put into this lesson because I can see how I would want to try to change up so it doesn't look too similar each time. Change up the pattern, like maybe even having some bamboo sticking up in the background or here and there. Little banana trees. Yeah, I love banana trees. I actually grow them in my backyard, the real ones and the ornamental ones, both, believe it or not. They're getting pretty tall right now. A little heavier, darker there. So that could be like the purple tones in there. The front could be almost like a blue purple, maybe. Give it a little tone, little plant life and flowers here and there. Splash of them. Make that a little bit more. Here, get this side of the little hut here. I don't know how many of you might have seen or know the TV show called Gilligan's Island. This is inspired by all that. I love that from the 1960s. So these like bamboo roof, thatch, like from the grass, branches on there. It's a little bit greener. Yeah. So that's my reference in this case. So I'm just using my imagination. I didn't pull up anything on the internet, or I didn't pull up anything from a TV show. It's okay to do that. That's not a wrong thing. If you need to get some reference, feel free to build that up or just use your creativity that you have. An open door here. I could have like a curtain in there, different colors, bamboo, little standing up on the background, having the fourth one in the back right there. That's all four. Okay. All right. That looking good. I feel comfortable with this. Again, I know I can see so many changes I'll do with the cleanup when there's so many changes when I go slower. But for right now, it helps me just to flush out my ideas quickly. Placement. I might even put like a third and fourth one in the far distance on a hill there to give some more depth, and that would be like all shadowed out on there. Can add like a waterfall on here in the background, a volcano if you wanted to, a boat in the background in the water, really like a little sailboat far in the distance, or a big cruise ship, but very, very small. All right, let me change the pencil maybe. Let me get another one here for a second. Yeah, like a little heavier. So this is a 5B one right now. So 5B is a lot softer graphite than the one I had now. But I'm going to do some more shading with this one. A little bit more. I don't have to push as hard, but yeah, just barely touching. It turns like really dark. Okay, that's looking good. I like that. Little rocks here and there, or maybe some oysters or clam or stuff stuck on the rock side there. All right, yeah, I like that. I like that. That looks good. Yeah, yeah, I can see the different colors.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Looking for a comic book that the whole family can enjoy? Family friendly, colorful, great stories, actions, suspense, comedy? We got you covered. Visit our website. That's jmg-studio.biz.
And now, back to our show.
All right. Yeah, I can just see the different sea life that could have in there. You can also add, like I was mentioned before, like little crabs walking the beach, more shells, starfish, a sea chest in there, or just making it simple and leaving around. So thinking of that, here's a great thought to share with you right now. When I do it on the digital format version, I may not have everything on the same layer. So like this little like up here right now, I could have that on one layer and the two huts in different ones. So it's kind of like I can slide them around, move them left to right, scale them up and down. They're not part of the background. So the background's on one layer and the huts are on individually different layers and the pier is on another one. So I can size up smaller, bigger, and move it around. That's the pro when you're doing digital versus traditional. As you can see right now, I can't do that. What I have is what it is. But I strongly recommend don't always do digital work. Okay, when you're doing traditional artwork, if it's graphite pencils to color with markers, acrylics, watercolors, do some of it traditionally. You'll learn a lot of wonderful techniques and tips that then you can apply it to your digital uh, computer technology stuff. But again, traditional is such a blessing. I just want you guys to really emphasize that. Don't run from it, jump onto it, because it's challenging more than when you do on digital. You'll have that understanding. All right, a little shadow, a little bit more here on some of the branches, the new leaves that are forming. All right, little distance. I'm kind of playing my head where I might see little things, little shrubs and bushes. Like I said, might do another. Oh yeah, here. I'll just put these bamboos here, like randomly sticking up in the background. I might do another one or two sheets, really quick ones on different plant life or foliage that might be on the jungle. And then from there, I can use those to draw the final picture, another little thumbnail sketching. Yeah, these would be like all like little bamboo branches here and there. Let's put a little one over here, maybe. Little grass blades, another small one distance. Little bundle. Okay. And I'm just making those little specks, those like little leaves there. Yeah, that's just really quick represent. There we go. Yeah. All right. Looking good. I like that. So yeah, I can see, you know what? Another lesson I'm going to put in here is the different types of foliage. So you can see how I complete this big project. This isn't for any book, storybook, or illustration, or a calendar, or t-shirt, or mug. It's just for fun, just random drawing and just entertaining your time, getting away from all the digital stuff and spending some time being fun and creative. And here's a challenge, okay, for everybody. If you want to do something like this, no matter what it is, not just this project, sit back with a friend and work together at the same time, or share that when you're finished, and challenge one another and say, hey, what did you do? Okay, and show at the very end, and you'll be surprised. You might get some tips sharing with other fellow artists. It does make difference how young or how old you are on that. We do it all the time. I'm kind of getting up there in my age, and I definitely know there's a lot of people much older than I am, and they still do that. Show from cartoons to fine art, all different mediums. Never too that. Here's a big rock sticking in the water right there. There we go, a little shading on there. Okay. More squared off. Is it kind of shallow? I think this water area here is pretty shallow. So when I color it in, I'm thinking about making the sand very light brown and the teal blending between the two, so you can kind of see the sand and the teal on top. So it's not like solid teal blue, a little bit more little oysters on the side there on the top. Okay, little spots on the rocks. Okay, a little heavier. As you can see here with this pencil, when I barely touch it with that graphite pencil, the 5B, it's really soft. So when I barely touch on the paper, it gets really dark. All right, let me get this side here. Some more with the palm trees, or is that banana trees? I'm not so sure. Maybe more banana trees. They're very similar. Palm trees are a little taller and skinnier. Banana trees are slowly coming up. Okay, looking good. I like that. Yeah, very simple. So when you're doing stuff like this, meaning drawing and sketching, take a time of the day when you're doing it, when you're not stressed out. And it could be early morning, evenings. That's when my creativity flows sometimes, or it could be in the middle of the day. But if you have a project to do for somebody or for a company, that's 24/7. So you really don't have that flexibility. But when you can do it on your own time, you can get very creative. And that's what's fun. And that's the part that I really like, is when you do stuff like that, you really can challenge yourself and enjoy what you're working on, so you don't feel that pressure when you're working with something that you may or may not really want to be working on. Because that happens. Sometimes a project you're working on and it's kind of struggling with it because the client or the director telling you what to do, it's not what you envisioned, and you just got to listen to them. Many stories I can share with that. You just got to work through it. In this case, it's nobody telling me, which is a lot better. All right. I'm still not done with the shading. I'm going to come back with the shading. Give me some time. I'm just finishing up the rough outline on stuff. I'm going to come back and hit some darker areas. And let's put another little bamboo stick sticking out here and there. Yeah. Yep. Yep. All right. What is that? A little shading. Yeah, that would be like all, so it's not so white. Little tone on that. Okay, now you can see how I rotated the pencil. I'm working on the side of the graphite instead of the tip. That gives me more of the lead. And then when I push really hard right now, you can see I'm not push really hard. Actually, it's really light. Since it's the 5B, it's really, really, really soft. So it comes down like it's really dark. And I can push a little harder and give some more shadow, like here underneath the pier, around the ripples with the water coming in and out, and more underneath here, a little straighter. So you can see the contrast really popping up right now. That's what I'm just doing right now, just helping me on just laying out the grayscale value of the picture right now. So I come back, I kind of can see it. A little bit heavier on this one right there, a little bit more, a bit around the rock there. And this side here. So what I would suggest is you don't want to push always straight hard. So I'm going lightly and I'm pushing every time. So I start off really light and I can go a little heavier and heavier. And as you notice, this entire time I didn't erase with anything because again, it's just a simple sketch. But I would strongly recommend practicing that way. Don't worry about erasing, just letting it go. When it's a final one, I get that you might want to clean up some of the lines or make it look a little bit cleaner. But in this case, there's no need to really worry about that. Yeah, I'm going to create those bushes in the back a little darker. It gives more contrast. The background a little bit darker on these little shrubs and behind the mountain there. The tree, or I should say the banana tree. Shadowing. Yeah. Yeah. So you can see how it's coming along right now and how I added the sketch really quick. The first step, laying it out. Second one, just simply getting the lines a bit deeper and richer. And now I'm trying to get some more of the halftones throughout the little cartoon picture. Doo, doo, doo. And this is done in many different purposes that you can do it. And I'm just there to shade the top of the pier there. Yeah, I can see I'm shading and talking at the same time and thinking about the colors and the tones right now. But I got to clean this picture up. Yeah, the water there, a little bit here, the beach again. This is like the wet part of the beach, the darker brown, or maybe it's like going to be like a peach sand, or it could even be a teal sand. Let's get a little bit more shading on that spot there. Okay. A little heavier on the inside. All right. Inside there, I'm just shading in there, but I might have like little curtains hanging in there, or this could be a curtain, a colorful little curtain. I can add a window on there. Let's get a little bit more here, a little darker, more contrast. I want to get a little bit more contrast, so it's not so neutral. There, a little heavier on here again. See it? I came back there. It looks a lot better. That back corner, I like that. That back corner there, that pulled it through. Yeah. A little bit more pressure again, and I'm getting even darker. Okay, a little dark between those little banana trees. A little bit here and there to get more of a contrast. Okay. Just working around randomly. Let's get this a little bit darker too. I like that. Yeah. Now that's better. You can see that whole row in the background from that far right to middle to the edge there, how dark it is. That's nice contrast to the side of the rock here. And this little rock, let's get a little bit more in the front underneath there too. Okay, a little bit more depth. Yeah, I'm going to make this really heavy there. Now pushing harder and harder. I like that. That's better underneath the pier too. You can see that line there underneath the stones. All right, a little bit more for the shrubs in the background. Contrast. Let's get them in the over here too. So I'm just keep on building and building and building randomly. I'm moving around. I can get my eye and focus on everything. Again, this is how I'm working. All right, I can see that top hill. Could that be like a mountain and it's a cliff? Not so sure. Little shrubs in the background there, peering on the other side. And let's get that a little darker too, a little shade more. I get that hard edge. So then you can switch the pencil back. As you can see, you can use it like a hard edge, more of a crisp line. All right, where else? Oh, you know what? Let's add some more little random stones here and there. So yeah, so thinking that the random stones could be in the water too. So that would be kind of blending the color in. Yeah, this could be like a 3-4 day project to finish this picture. I can see in my mind with everything, all the steps that I'm going to be going through. All right, a little bit more stones randomly here, there, everywhere. So the ones that are in the water could be kind of like the water over them. You would have that on another layer. On there, that's the water coming in. Now, what else? Oh, you know what? Let's do some clouds. Some very simple, basic clouds. And I'm just going to create the puffy ones here and there. All the way on the side. There we go. And I'm going to make another one on the left and smaller one down below. I'm seeing my head. There's another little one. And another medium-sized one here, not too big. Further distance, and it goes all the way down the further, closer to the horizon, get really, really fine. And the higher ones up, I can get a little bit bigger, puffier. Shade that in. And that would also be on another layer when I'm working with that with the Photoshop too. Coloring it. Probably use my watercolor. All right, I feel good. So let's sign, date, share with your family and friends. Thanks for watching this episode and have a blessed day.